In this episode of Slickworks, I'm going to show you guys how to install a 68 Camaro spoiler on a G-body. So I found this spoiler off Marketplace for $100, and I've already pulled out the studs, but there's only one problem. There's our problem, but I got a plan for this. So I've decided to make it permanent instead of being removable, because on the inside of the deck lid here, with the frame, I would have to get my Christmas tree my step drill bit, and drill some holes through the frame. And I don't really feel like doing that. So instead, I'm going to permanently mount it on the deck lid before paint. So we're going to be using a little panel bond, but getting the contours right is going to be a little bit interesting. So we got a few issues that we need to deal with here. First off, it's rocking in the middle. There's not enough of a crown. Secondly, probably the most important issue, really, is this curve right here. Late 70s, early 80s cars, obviously very square, very boxy, so we need to figure out how to flatten this out. What's another issue that we got? Oh yeah, right here. Have a look at this line here. What is going on there? Is that factory? Is that really how they were? With that weird curve there? The unfortunate thing is this is actually, I believe it's SMC. I can kind of tell because I see some fibers and a few of the scratches on it. So this is not heat and reshapeable. So I think I'm going to be doing a little bit of filler work on this after grinding this completely flat. So to start, I think I need this thing a little bit more flexible. It's got to be a bit more flexible for me. So all the bracing, all this sturdy framework like this here. Another weird point, this is how they were from factory. The deck lid sat like that. They actually sat a little bit raised off the trunk lid. Why? I don't know. Like, it would look a whole lot better flush, but hey, I don't work for GM. I'm just an amateur YouTube guy. So anyways, I'm gonna start by cutting out all this framework, but I'm gonna leave a little bit of meat on these mounting points where the hardware used to be, because from these mounting points is where we're gonna do our initial panel bond onto the deck lid and go from there. Got a little visit from my buddy Chevy. How's it going, dude?
Good.
Good. Did you go to the dentist today? Yeah? You got some freezing going on? Which side?
Right here.
Oh boy. So he's doing a lap of the house to wear off his freezing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go as fast as you can. Go, 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 go. There's not many joys this world has to offer quite like being a father, I gotta say. I got my center line taped off of the spoiler. On the underside, we are sanded flush. So let's go throw it on and see how it looks. So here's what we're gonna do. Firstly, we're gonna cut this all the way to the top on both sides so that we can get rid of this rocking action. Secondly, we have this curve here on the deck lid. So once we get the rock taken care of and we can tape it down flush, I got a plan for this curve. We'll show you guys. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. So as I was cutting, it was opening up the gap. I kept pushing the end of the spoiler down and cutting more, cutting more, cutting more. So now we have this sort of axis where we can change the shape of the spoiler to suit the trunk lid. So yeah, you see what I mean there? That's how it was. That's how it is now. So let's go throw it on and see how it looks now. So we're getting towards the right shape. I do need to shave a little bit more off this so we can open that up a bit more because it's touching a little. As far as on this side, this is going to be an interesting process once we get going here, as well as that part there. But yeah, the nice thing about this is we will be panel bonding it to the car, so that's going to give us a little bit of grace. Well, for now, this side's going to have to be reshaped anyways. But for now, I think I'm going to run my line and start shaving off the contour off the back of the spoiler. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and grind this completely off. Completely off until it's totally flush. And then, yeah, we'll work with that. Well, we are grinding and grinding and grinding. I know you guys are thinking, what the heck are you doing? Don't worry. We had a bit of a problem. I was grinding away and yeah, that side of the spoiler broke off. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna grind out the other side of the spoiler and keep shaping. All right, we're making progress, So this gap here, we're gonna address that next. So I got an idea, because you see it's touching up there obviously, but not down there. So I got a plan for that too. So now the trick is finding a spacer that perfectly puts a Sharpie right there. So it turns out in this case it's 9mm. So I'm gonna go ahead and run this right along the edge, and then that's what's gonna give my contour line. So yeah, just find, you know, whatever's kicking around the shop. Okay, now that I got my spacer line on there, we're gonna take this much out of it. So this spoiler is gonna get a little bit of a haircut, but when we're done, it should match the contour of the deck lid perfectly. Okay, one more test fit, and I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. Well, you can see we're getting the shape a little better, but what's keeping it from settling down is these nubs. I still got to grind them down a little bit further. So I'll do that, and then I'll make a cup of tea. Okay, so at this point we're getting very close. So all I'm gonna do is shave off this end. I think I'm actually gonna mold it into the deck lid. Not really a fan of that look though. So I'll probably mold it into the deck lid and then cut a little lip so it looks like it's not molded in. You know what I mean? Okay, so I'm gonna go and shave more of the end off, and then I'm gonna go make myself a cup of tea. Okay, so this is the body line that we're going off of. So I'm just gonna draw a line like that. Something like that. 2 relief cuts that we can angle it down when we glue it to the body. Put a lot of pressure on that, V it out, panel bond it into the shape that we want. Okay, I'm gonna go make these cuts and then make myself a cup of tea. Okay, all relief cuts are ground out. I put some self-tappers in the deck lid just to suck this area down. This one actually broke off when I was cutting these cuts, but those cuts will assist in changing the shape for sure. So yeah, now we have it nice and even all the way along the deck lid. So I'm gonna give it a little bit of panel bond just to get the process begun and holding it all together. So panel bond, just bridge the gap. Panel bond actually doesn't stick to masking tape, in case you're wondering. Yeah, so I'm gonna get some panel bond on there, spread it out, and then go make myself some tea. Now that this is mostly cured up with the heat gun, I'm gonna pull this wing off and flip it over and completely coat it so it's all nice and strong, reinforce it from the inside, and grind out this edge, lay down some tape so I can start building up to get the shape proper, as well as in the front here too, once I get these self-tappers out. But before I do that, I'm gonna have a sip of tea. And now we wait. Panel bond is like an overnight sort of cure time sort of deal. But if you hit it with a heat gun, it only takes like 15 minutes, something like that. I know it looks a little weird right now, but it'll all make sense very, very soon. Okay, panel bond is cured up rock solid. So now we're gonna pull the tape up, get this thing off of there, and start shaping it. See what's going on over here? We're cooking, right? Cooking along pretty good. Yep. Got the contours right. So I just threw some tape here to fatten up this edge a little bit. I'm gonna give it one more skim of panel bond and call it a night. Park this old girl in the garage. Okay, all the panel bonding, initial shaping, completely finished. So now I'm gonna get my Duraglass, fill that little bit up there. It doesn't look like it's right, but if you come down, it is pretty dang close. So that's just, I'm just gonna fill that up outwards with Duraglass. We're gonna do nothing with the bottom. It's a little shallow, but that's fine. Once it's all panel bonded, run a seam along the inside, it'll look really nice. So yeah. Gonna go ahead and start with the Duraglass on this side. Of course, it's not completely final because I am gonna drill out the holes from the backside. Once the backside holes are drilled down and we have the initial Duraglass, then I'm gonna screw it down, panel bond it to the deck lid, and then pull the screws out. And where the screws are, we're gonna grind it out 20 degrees and fill in those holes. But that'll be a lot easier if I already have this crazy wavy business going on here taken care of. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Okay, so one thing I've learned over the years is with Duraglass, never wait. As soon as it kicks off, you're gonna start sanding it right away. It does fill up your sandpaper quite a bit, but you'll thank yourself later. Trust me. This stuff, if you leave it overnight and come back to it, it's as hard as a rock. I'm not joking. Main chunky shaping with the Duraglass is done, so we're going to go ahead with the medium body filler on there, start to sand out some of the ripples going on the feathered out edges, and then yeah, drill, panel bond, and on the car. Oh yes, it is that day. Well, in doing this, I've realized that this is a lot of work. It's actually more work that I'm not molding this into the deck lid and that I am leaving a gap here because, I mean, if I wasn't, I'd just slap it on right now. But I need that little bit of gap in there to make it look like it's bolted on, to make it look somewhat factory. I don't know why I'm putting so much effort into this, but anyways, it is 1 in the morning and I'm getting kind of hungry. Also, the shop's kind of looking a little bit like Pablo Escobar's basement right now, but that's okay. So we're calling it quits for tonight. I'm gonna give it one more skim of polyester glaze, let that cure up overnight, and then tomorrow come in, sand it out, and then panel bond it on the car. Yeah. The 2 rules of building hot rods, lowriders, custom anything, it's always gonna be more expensive than you think, and it's always gonna take longer than you think. Good night. Polyester glaze fully sanded out. This thing is ready to install, but one more step because I'm not an animal. It's in 80 grit right now. I'm gonna guide coat the whole thing, sand it down with 150, so we're ready for prime. The deck lid itself is all sanded out and ready to go, and this just confirmed why there is no keyhole. I don't know why the heck someone would do this. So we only have the power trunk release. So I guess we're relying on that for our whole trip because I'm gonna have all my stuff back here. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. The time has come. So I got my holes drilled out on this side. That'll hold it down nice and good. For this side, I got the holes drilled out too. So we're gonna snug it down with some screws. So what's going on is I got a bigger drill bit to guide it and a smaller drill bit to go through. That way, when I put my self-tappers in here, the self-tappers will not start chewing through the bodywork because I really don't want to have any D-lam issues going on in there. So yeah, once I get all these holes drilled out, make sure that it is exactly where I want the spoiler. I'll show you guys how I'm going to get it perfectly lined up so I can set it down exactly where I want it to by myself without a friend. So yeah, no friends. Happy day today. The spoiler is in place, fits great, looks good, but how am I going to know exactly where to line it up when it's all got fresh wet panel bond on it? Just like this. That corner, little in the middle for good measure. Turned out really good. Very happy with it. So once I laid it down, there's only one part I should show you guys. Only one part I'm not thrilled about. With this right here, that little gap. Got a little bit gappy on me, but that's okay. Still looks awesome. Yeah, not so bad, eh? So once I squished it down, I used my finger and a bit of gun wash to wash off all the excess panel bond. And then once it was all washed off, I ran a bead around the whole thing and then gave it a good finger swoop just to make sure it's all flush, but it still looks like it's bolted on and not, you know, molded in. Alright, got a fresh can of primer being shaken up right now. Just got her all bagged up outside. All cozy like. So yeah, excited to shoot this. It's been a process. Done and done. That looks sweet. I knew I had enough in my gun for 2 full coats, but it was kind of more like 2.5 coats, so I really pounded it on the second coat and got a little bit of sagging action. Can't even really see it much in the camera, but pretty sweet. And I was debating, I had a little debate. It was kind of difficult for me because there's a few dents in the deck lid. Not even dents, they're high spots. Yeah, that's more like it. Here we go, have a look here. So you see these here? kind of hard to see, but there's two big old high spots, mountains right there. I'm just leaving them. It's a race car, so not a show car. I have Jeannie. Her paint is perfect. This car, not so much, but it's gonna look cool from far, and it's gonna look sweet going sideways. And there it is, in epoxy prime, not high build, but you get the idea. Looks totally sweet, looks almost factory. Nice little ducktail spoiler on there. And today's a special day because I got my little buddy helping me out in the shop. It's crazy going back on watching previous episodes from years ago on the YouTube channel, seeing how much this little one's grown. But that's a wrap for the episode. Hope you guys liked it. If you learned anything, please hit the like button, and subscribe would be nice. The plan is to drive this thing to Florida in September, so the goal is 10K subs before then. I don't know if that's possible, but only you can help me out with that. So thanks for watching, guys. Bye.